There's a moment, soft, subtle, but powerful, when a woman begins to crave you and she doesn't even realize it. Her soul leans in before her words ever do. Her eyes linger longer, her laughter softens just for you, and her world starts to spin a little differently when you're near. You see, love, real, magnetic desire, is not something a woman announces. She shows it in ways that might confuse you, overwhelm you, or leave you questioning if it's even real. But deep down, it is. It's raw, unfiltered, and impossible for her to control. This isn't about lust or fleeting passion. It's about a kind of connection that shakes her spirit. It's when your presence becomes her peace, when your silence feels louder than 1,000 voices in her head, when just thinking about you creates this ache, sweet, electric, and undeniable, right in the center of her chest. And she'll try to hide it. Oh, she'll try. She'll brush it off, laugh it away, tell herself it's not that deep. But her body will betray her. Her actions will whisper secrets she's too afraid to say aloud. Because when a woman truly craves you, not just your touch, but your essence, everything about her changes. She becomes vulnerable in ways she never intended. And no matter how strong or guarded she is, her craving shows up. In the way she texts, in the pauses between her words, in the way she looks at you like she's memorizing your every breath. So if you've ever wondered what it feels like to be truly wanted by a woman, not needed, not used, but craved, you're about to discover the signs. But be ready, because once you recognize them, you'll never forget how powerful a woman's desire can truly be. 1. She prioritizes you without realizing it. There's something deeply beautiful about the way a woman's heart shifts when she begins to crave someone. It's not loud. It's not always obvious. But it's undeniably present, and perhaps the most powerful, yet underestimated, sign is the way she starts prioritizing you, quietly, without even realizing she's doing it. It's not because she's weak, or because she needs someone to complete her. No, it's because her spirit has found something in you that feels worth leaning into, worth changing for, worth making space for. In the beginning, it might be subtle. She'll rearrange her day, not with grand announcements, but with small, intentional choices. That friend she always has lunch with on Fridays. Suddenly she's free if you happen to suggest a coffee. That late-night meeting she used to attend religiously. She'll skip it without much fuss if it means she can hear your voice before bed. These decisions seem spontaneous, but they're not. They're a reflection of where her heart is being drawn toward you. She doesn't even notice she's doing it. That's the most disarming part. She just knows she wants to be around you, to hear from you, to support you. And so the corners of her life begin to shift. Her routines loosen, her patterns bend. She starts measuring her time by the moments she gets to share with you, even if it's just a brief phone call or a message that makes her smile during a hectic day. You'll see it in the way she responds. A woman who is craving you doesn't delay when your name lights up her screen. Even when she's tired, even when she's busy, her reply will come with warmth, with effort. Because you're no longer just someone she's talking to. You've become someone she wants to make a consistent part of her world. And it's not only about time, it's about presence. She gives you emotional priority. When something exciting happens, you're the first person she wants to tell. When her day falls apart, she seeks your comfort, not necessarily because she expects you to fix things, but because your presence feels like peace, like home. Like a breath of calm in a storm she didn't ask for. She'll begin to include you in decisions, not out of obligation, but because your opinion suddenly matters more than she ever expected. She values what you think. She wants to hear your take. It could be something small, like what dress to wear, or something deeper, like where she's headed in life. And when a woman starts opening those doors for you, understand, this isn't casual anymore. She's not just liking you. She's craving your presence in her journey. You'll start to notice the way she mirrors your habits. The songs you send her become part of her playlist. The quotes you mention show up in her journal. She'll recall the smallest things you say because she's paying attention now, deeply, carefully. Not because she's trying to impress you, but because you've made an impression on her, a meaningful one. Her energy begins to wrap around yours. And this doesn't mean she abandons herself. No, a woman who craves you doesn't dissolve into you. She simply evolves to make room. There's a softness in her eyes now when she talks to you, a warmth in her voice that wasn't there before. Her laughter is freer, her silence more meaningful. She doesn't need to say, "You're important to me." Her actions scream it. You'll notice that her boundaries, while still present, are flexible in ways they weren't before. She'll stay on the phone a little longer, even if she has to be up early. She'll drive the extra distance to see you, even if gas prices are high and she's had a long day. She'll cancel something non-essential just to sit in your company, in your silence, because it feeds something in her that nothing else does. That's when you know you're not just someone in her life. You've become a priority. Even when she's overwhelmed, she'll carve out time for you. Not out of duty, but desire. That's the difference. When a woman craves you, her efforts don't feel forced. They're rooted in joy, in excitement, in the butterflies she still gets when your name flashes across her phone. Even in her exhaustion, there's a light in her eyes when she talks about you, because you've become her safe space, her smile, her center. And here's what makes it even more powerful. She's not always aware she's doing this. It's instinctive. It's her soul recognizing a connection, a magnetic pull that's deeper than reason, a craving that is emotional, spiritual, and honest. She might still claim she's not catching feelings, might still pretend she's just being friendly. But if you watch closely, her behavior tells a different story, a much more vulnerable, beautiful story. Her priorities shift in conversations too. She starts checking in more often. Not just, how was your day? But, did you eat? Or, are you feeling okay today? These questions aren't surface level anymore. She wants to know you, to understand how your heart moves, how your mind works, what weighs on your shoulders when you smile and say, I'm fine. She pays attention to your moods, your triggers, your joys. She remembers the date you had a difficult interview, or the time you said you hated Mondays because of something that happened years ago. When a woman craves you, her memory becomes selective, and you're always at the center of it. She'll want to support your passions. Suddenly, she's asking about your goals, cheering you on, celebrating your little victories as if they were her own. When you speak about your dreams, she listens not with politeness, but with investment. And if you fail, if you stumble, she doesn't walk away. She gets closer. That's because craving isn't just about wanting your presence when things are good. It's about needing your essence, even when the world feels like it's falling apart. You'll see her start to nurture you in ways you didn't ask for. Maybe she sends you lunch when you forget to eat. Maybe she texts you encouragement before a big meeting. Maybe she shows up for you on a bad day and doesn't ask for anything in return. That's the thing about a woman who prioritizes you. She gives, not to gain, but because giving to you feels like receiving. She's not performing love, she's embodying it. In the way she speaks your name. In how she shows up even when it's inconvenient. In how she lets you see her, all of her. Because she no longer feels the need to hide. When she prioritizes you, it's not about proving anything. It's about being something. Present, real, open. Even in conflict, this sign shows itself. She doesn't walk away easily. She wants to work through it. She may be upset, but she stays in the conversation. She doesn't ghost you. She doesn't pretend it didn't happen. Why? Because you matter. Because you've become someone she wants to work things out with, even when pride and fear tempt her to shut down. When a woman craves you, her love language evolves around your needs. She'll find the things that soothe you, excite you, calm you. She may not get it right all the time, and she may fumble through her own vulnerabilities, but her intent is clear. She wants to be where you are, and she wants you to feel that. Deeply. She'll show up when others wouldn't. She'll check on you even when you haven't been your best. She'll offer grace when you've been distant or distracted, not because she doesn't know her worth, but because she sees yours. She sees who you are beneath the surface, beneath the chaos and ego and wounds, and she wants that version of you. The real one. The one who maybe no one else took the time to know. And all of this, all these signs, stem from one quiet shift. She's begun prioritizing you without realizing it. Not with grand declarations, not with fireworks, but with consistent, gentle actions that speak volumes. She's woven you into the fabric of her day, of her thoughts, of her world. And if you look closely enough, you'll see her heart in every little thing she does. 2. Her body language speaks louder than her words. There are things a woman says without ever opening her mouth. Her body, her eyes, the way she moves when she's near you. These are messages, sometimes louder, more truthful than anything she could dare to say aloud. And when a woman craves you, even if she's trying to hide it, her body language begins to betray her, because desire lives in movement. Craving lives in silence. It's not in the confession, it's in the pause before she speaks, the glance that lingers 1 second too long, the way her hands fidget when you enter the room. There's a vulnerability in the way she stands around you, like she's not sure whether to run or lean in closer. Her guard might still be up in her words, but her body will start leaning toward what her heart is drawn to. It's involuntary. Her arms may fold across her chest when she's nervous, but she'll keep her feet pointed toward you. When you speak, she'll tilt her head, not just to hear, but because curiosity has taken over. You're not just someone she's listening to. You're someone she wants to understand. Her eyes are often the first traitor. They dart toward you in moments when she thinks you're not looking. She scans you, not in a superficial way, but like someone looking for answers in the details of your face. Maybe she notices the shape of your hands, the curve of your smile, the way your shoulders move when you talk about something you care about. She watches, not to judge, but to take it all in, to absorb you slowly, like a song she plays on repeat because it makes her feel something she can't name. And then, when your eyes meet hers, there's that pause, a soft freeze in the air. For a brief moment, the world feels quieter, and you both sense it. That delicate tension. She might look away quickly, pretending to focus on something else, but that flinch, that tiny, electric second, is where the truth lies. That's not just attraction. That's yearning. She will try to compose herself, of course. She may act like she's unaffected, uninterested even. But her body doesn't know how to lie. When she sits near you, the space between her and everyone else suddenly becomes wider, yet between you and her, it narrows. Watch how her shoulders face you, how she mirrors your movements, how she laughs just a second longer than usual. When a woman craves you, proximity becomes something sacred. She wants to be near your presence, near your energy. And she may not even know why. You'll notice the way she plays with her hands. A sudden interest in the ring she's worn for years. Twisting a strand of hair she never cared about before. Adjusting her necklace, even when it doesn't need adjusting. These movements aren't accidents. They are energy that has no other place to go. Her body is brimming with feelings she hasn't yet learned to verbalize, and so her hands become the outlet for all that unspoken desire. Sometimes, when you speak, she leans in. Not because she can't hear you, but because part of her needs to feel closer. There's a pull. And when she laughs, there's something a little breathless about it. It's not forced, but it's not effortless either. It's vulnerable, and that vulnerability is a sign. She's not just laughing at what you said. She's reacting to how you make her feel. The laughter is a release of tension, of nervousness, of a craving she hasn't put into words. And then there are the touches. So brief, so easily disguised as casual. A hand on your arm when she makes a point. A brush against your shoulder when passing by. A playful nudge that lasts just a second too long. These are not coincidences. They're risks. Tiny moments where she crosses the invisible line between friend and more. She wants to feel the safety of your skin, the reality of your presence. And even if it's just a fleeting moment, it's enough to send sparks through her entire system. She becomes more aware of herself in your presence. You'll see it. She sits a little straighter. She adjusts her clothes more often. She might glance at a mirror or check her phone screen just to make sure she looks okay. Not because she's vain, but because you matter now. Your opinion of her has weight. She wants to be her best around you, not to impress, but because something inside her hopes you'll notice. Even the way she breathes changes. When you're close, her breath may quicken just a little. Her words may stumble, and that calm, collected demeanor she has around others may slip. That's because craving someone doesn't just affect the heart, it affects the body. Her entire nervous system becomes more alert, more attuned to every second you're near. It's like your presence lights up something inside her she didn't know needed awakening. When she's across the room, she finds ways to glance in your direction. Even when in conversation with someone else, part of her focus is still on you. She notices your movements, your laughter, your stillness. She's attuned to your presence like a frequency only she can hear. And it's not because she's obsessed. It's because she's emotionally invested. Even if she hasn't admitted it to herself, you'll see her become protective in subtle ways. When someone else tries to get too close to you, her body shifts. Maybe she tenses, maybe her smile becomes thinner. There's a slight change in posture. Possessiveness, even in its lightest form, shows up when someone fears losing what they value. And in these small, involuntary reactions, her craving makes itself known. She may not say a word, but her silence is filled with meaning. And if she ever pulls away too quickly after being close, it's not rejection, it's panic. The feeling was too strong, the closeness too real. And for a woman who hasn't figured out her emotions yet, that kind of intensity can be terrifying. But even in her withdrawal, her body hesitates. She walks away, but looks back. She keeps a distance, but stays within reach. Craving makes a woman bold, and it also makes her careful, because what she's feeling is real, and real is risky. There's also a softness in how she moves around you, a tenderness in her gestures. She might brush away a hair from your face if she's brave, or straighten your collar with a half smile. These aren't grand declarations. They're whispers of affection disguised as routine moments. And when she touches you like that, it's because something inside her is already choosing you. Even if her words haven't caught up yet, silence around you feels different too. When a woman craves you, silence isn't uncomfortable. It's intimate. You might find yourself sitting side by side, not speaking, and yet everything is being said in the quiet. She'll glance your way and smile for no reason. She'll hold eye contact for a second longer than she would with anyone else. That silence is where her truth lies. Not in the chatter, but in the stillness that holds you both. When she walks into a room and spots you, her entire energy changes. Her posture straightens. Her eyes light up. Her stride becomes more deliberate. Even if she doesn't approach you right away, she's aware, acutely so, of where you are and what you're doing. Her body starts moving in rhythm with your presence, sensing with the emotional energy she's quietly carrying. Sometimes she uses playfulness as a mask, teasing, laughing, joking with you more than others. It's her way of keeping things light while her feelings grow heavier. Watch how her playful moments with you differ from others. There's an emotional undercurrent, a searching, a softness behind the sparkle in her eye. It's not just fun, it's a gentle dance of closeness. And even when she's upset with you, her body will still reveal that she cares. She might cross her arms or avoid your gaze, but she stays. She remains in your space. Her body might be stiff, but she doesn't walk away, because craving doesn't stop for conflict. In fact, the tension often amplifies what's unspoken. She may avoid touching you when she's hurt, but her absence of touch says just as much as a caress. It says, I'm holding back what I want, because I'm still figuring out how to be safe with you. You'll know she craves you when her presence begins to feel intentional. When her movements around you carry an emotion too strong to ignore. When her eyes don't just look, they linger. When her hands move for no reason. When her posture speaks even louder than her voice. Her body will speak long before she ever says, I want you. And if you really want to know what she's feeling, don't just listen to her words. Watch how she reacts when you walk into the room. Pay attention to her stillness, her tension, her proximity, her gaze. Her body is speaking a language older than logic, bolder than pride. And if you listen closely enough, you'll hear it loud and clear. She's craving you. 3. Emotional vulnerability starts to surface. When a woman craves you, her communication changes in ways even she may not fully realize. It's not just about what she says. It's about how she says it when she says it, and what she doesn't say that reveals the deepest layers of her desire. You begin to notice a softness in her tone when she speaks to you, a shift that feels warmer, more inviting. The sharp edges of her words melt when you're around. Even the way she says your name carries weight, like it has become something personal, something she says with intention. It's not the same name others use. When it passes her lips, it feels wrapped in affection. There's a rhythm to her messages now, a consistency. She starts the day with a simple, good morning, not because she has to, but because her thoughts begin with you. You become a part of her routine, not out of obligation, but from craving. She wants to check in, to connect, even in the smallest way. And when she doesn't hear from you, it lingers on her mind longer than she'll ever admit. A delay in your reply suddenly feels like an emptiness in her day. She'll stare at her screen longer than she should, telling herself she's being silly, but deep down she's hoping for your name to appear again. When a woman craves you, she finds reasons to reach out, sometimes for no reason at all. A meme, a song, a random thought she had at work. These small messages are really pieces of her longing. Each one is a thread, an invisible string tugging between your worlds, keeping her emotionally connected to you. She's not just sharing information, she's inviting you into her world. Every message is a doorway, and she's hoping you'll walk through it. In conversations, she becomes curious, not just about your plans or what you do, but about what moves you, what shaped you, what scares you. She starts asking deeper questions, not to interrogate but to understand. There's a hunger in her for emotional closeness, and it begins to leak into her words. She remembers little things you said days or weeks ago. Details that seem trivial at the time, she holds on to them. She brings them up not to show off, but because they matter to her. You matter to her. And you'll start noticing how she makes space for you in her life. She tells you about her day, her struggles, her wins, her doubts. She lets you see the raw, unfiltered parts of her, not all at once, but piece by piece. Craving does that. It opens doors that were once locked. She starts lowering her walls, allowing you to witness the vulnerable parts she usually guards. Her communication isn't always polished, but it becomes real, layered with emotion she can no longer contain. And when you speak, she listens differently. She's present. Not just hearing your words, but absorbing them. She pauses before responding because she wants to choose the right words, the ones that won't just answer you, but affirm you. She asks follow-up questions. She mirrors your language. It's not manipulation. It's connection. It's the subconscious desire to align, to build a rhythm that matches yours. Sometimes, she'll say things that sound casual, but are loaded with meaning. Comments like, "I wish you were here," or "I thought of you when this happened." These are not offhand remarks. They are emotional signals, quiet admissions of her desire to share her world with you, to not experience life in isolation from you. She wants you to know that you've become a part of her internal dialogue, that your absence is felt in places she once didn't realize could feel empty. There's also the shift in her timing. She responds faster, even if she's busy. She may be overwhelmed, but your messages find priority. She chooses to engage, not because she feels obligated, but because there's a quiet joy that comes with interaction. When she sees your name pop up, there's a flutter in her chest. It's not always loud, but it's there, familiar and comforting. And on the days she doesn't reach out, the silence doesn't mean she doesn't care. In fact, it may mean she cares too much. She might be afraid of appearing too eager, too vulnerable. Craving someone often comes with a silent fear. What if I'm more invested than they are? So, she pulls back just enough to test the waters. But even in her distance, there's presence. She watches your stories, she likes your posts, she stays tuned in from afar. Because even when she's silent, she's still reaching for you in the ways she can. Her words also become layered with emotion. Even when joking, there's often a softness underneath. Teasing becomes a form of affection, a way to engage, while still keeping things playful. But in those light-hearted moments, there's always an undercurrent of sincerity. If you listen closely, you'll hear it, the truth in her laughter, the gentleness in her sarcasm. She's not just playing, she's building intimacy. Over time, you'll realize she starts letting her guard down more in writing than she might in person. There's something safer about texting, about having a moment to think before responding. So, her late night messages might be the most honest. When the world quiets down and distractions fade, that's when her heart speaks loudest. She might say things like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," or "This probably doesn't matter," but these are signs she feels safe, signs that her craving is turning into trust. And when she starts sending you long messages, unprompted, full of thoughts and emotions, know that these are not just words, they are offerings, emotional offerings. She's placing pieces of herself into your hands and hoping you'll handle them with care. And when you do, when you respond with empathy, with presence, she sinks deeper into that craving. It becomes rooted in connection, not just desire. Sometimes she'll want to talk about nothing at all. Just being on the phone with you, even in silence, feels like enough. It's not about what's said. It's about the shared space. Craving someone means you don't always need a reason to talk. You just want to feel close. You just want to hear their voice and know they're there. And if she starts making you part of her future language, phrases like "we should" or "some day when we," those aren't throwaways. They are glimpses into her heart. She's beginning to picture you in her world beyond today. She's planting seeds, hoping you'll water them, hoping you'll see what she's trying to show without saying it outright, that she wants more than just conversations. She wants consistency, presence, depth. When she craves you, even conflict changes. She doesn't want to fight just to be right. She wants to fight for understanding. Her tone may raise, her words may fumble, but underneath it all is fear. Fear of losing what's growing. Craving doesn't die in disagreement. It hides, waits for clarity, hopes for reassurance. If you listen closely, even in the tension, you'll hear her need to be heard, seen, and held. And if you ever reassure her, if you ever say something that makes her feel safe, you'll see a different version of her emerge. Her messages become lighter, her words softer. Craving transforms into comfort, and her communication reflects it. She won't just reach out to be near you. She'll reach out because being near you feels like home. That's what it's like when a woman craves you. Her communication becomes more than just interaction. It becomes intimacy. It becomes a map of her longing, etched in words, silence, laughter, and timing. And if you know how to read it, you'll never again have to ask how she feels. Because her messages, every single one, are quietly shouting the truth she wants you more than she knows how to say. 40. Her energy lingers long after she's gone. When a woman craves you, she becomes deeply attentive to your emotions, tuned into your moods with a sensitivity that can feel almost intuitive. This isn't just casual curiosity. It's a deeper emotional pull that compels her to care beyond surface levels. She starts noticing things others may overlook: the slight change in your voice, the pause between your words, the way you suddenly withdraw when something's bothering you. And she doesn't need a dramatic display to recognize it. A quiet sigh, a text that's shorter than usual, a conversation where you seem distant. These things don't slip past her when she craves you. They hit differently. She finds herself wanting to protect your peace, even in small ways. When she sees you're tired, she softens her tone. When you seem overwhelmed, she offers space, but not distance. There's a beautiful balance she attempts, being close enough to show she cares without overwhelming you. She may not always get it right, but the effort is there, deeply rooted in her desire to be someone who brings comfort, not pressure. And this is because craving doesn't manifest only in touch or flirtation. It often lives in the quiet concern she feels for your well-being. She remembers things you mention, even the ones you thought were forgettable, like how you prefer your coffee, the name of your first pet, the way you said you hate Mondays. These little fragments become meaningful to her because you're meaningful to her. Craving makes the mind sharper when it comes to someone she's emotionally invested in. She pieces together who you are, not just from your big declarations, but from your passing remarks. And slowly, she forms a picture of you in her heart that is detailed, layered, and personal. When you're upset, she doesn't just ask what's wrong to be polite. She asks because your discomfort unsettles her too. Your hurt echoes in her. Your sadness lingers in her day. It might be something small like you missing a meeting or dealing with stress from work. But to her, it matters. She may not always know how to fix it, but she'll want to. She'll want to say the right words, even if she fumbles them. Her efforts may be imperfect, but they're sincere. And that sincerity is often more healing than the perfect sentence ever could be. Sometimes, she'll anticipate your emotional needs before you voice them. She'll sense when you need encouragement, or when you just want to be listened to without judgment. She starts adjusting her responses, not out of manipulation, but out of empathy. That's what craving does. It teaches the heart to read another person like poetry, where every line carries unspoken meaning. And the more you open up to her, the more she cherishes that trust. She won't take it lightly. She'll guard your pain like it's her own. When a woman craves you, your happiness starts becoming part of her emotional world. She lights up when you're excited about something. Your wins feel like hers. She celebrates with you genuinely, not because it's the polite thing to do, but because seeing you fulfilled brings her a sense of joy that surprises even her. She might tease you, laugh with you, challenge you, but all of it is wrapped in a deep emotional investment. And if you ever doubt it, just notice how she reacts when you're struggling. That's where the truth lies. She becomes patient with your flaws, not blind to them, but more understanding. She knows you're